Previously on
The Song of Ilium. Quarrel, forces, duel, Pandarus, Diomedes, Andromache. Last time in Book 7, we finally brought an end to a long and bloody day as Ajax fought Hector. This time in Book 8, the Trojans reached the wall of the Greek camp with Zeus's help. Book 8 can be considered the Iliad's true beginning, with the earlier years of the war being compressed into the earlier books. It's where the will of Zeus becomes the driving force of the poem. To put it mildly, Zeus, the provider of rain and justice, isn't favorably portrayed in our modern age.
Turn them on each other and back into our arms.
You chained me to this rock and fed my liver to an eagle.
Out of love!
He's often mocked for his wrathful nature and sexual depravity.
Quiet, because you are this close to being uninvited to the orgy.
You cannot come to the orgy.
No longer worshipped, though, he's safe to mock without fear of reprisal and can be critiqued in place of other deities.
Zeus, we must do something.
No!
Interestingly, Zeus's position as chief god provides another indication the Iliad comes from a later period, as it's overwhelmingly evident Poseidon sat at the head of the Bronze Age Mycenean pantheon instead. Zeus's improved position may have come along with innovations like the alphabet from the Levant, where forms of the powerful sky god deity have gone on to influence many other conceptions of God. Zeus did not create the universe, nor can he change it at will. His is not the first divine regime, or even the second, and it's constantly hinted at that it might not be the last. He's simply another monarch in a heavenly line. Zeus is king of gods and men, a distinctly terrestrial title for a deity, and he operates much like an earthly king, as head of his household and subjects. Zeus does not possess omnipotence or omniscience like the Abrahamic god. Rather, his power atop the Greek pantheon is maintained through his limitless strength and supreme intelligence. He is happy to lord his power over all, it being a common saying that none is free but Zeus. Though the gods enjoy life unimpaired by death, horror, hardship, or hunger, Zeus's domestic difficulties as a henpecked husband and harried father make him a more relatable figure than the non-anthropomorphic, all-powerful version. Zeus may appear an all-too-human,
one. Yes, I am scared.
cruel, lightning-spamming, arrogant bastard, but to Homer and his earnest devotees, the god was well within his rights to dispense punishment and blessing as he saw fit. Furthermore, possessing infinite wisdom and foresight meant, though his purposes may be inscrutable to us, his actions were always right. In classical Greek fiction, plays would often have a deity descend onto the stage from a crane, an effect called deus ex machina. While today, this term has negative connotations implying lazy writing or overcoming a storytelling cul-de-sac.
Seemed hopeless, when suddenly the animator suffered a fatal heart attack. The cartoon peril was no more.
It was not so for the ancients. When Zeus intervenes on the battlefield here in Book 8, it's not to free Homer from a creative impasse. It's to remind us that as much as we feel in control of our destiny, it's Zeus who decides what happens and why. He arrives to slow the story in this instance, not to hasten it so families can exit the theater. Zeus does so throughout the poem, often against the stated will of the poet and characters. He has long decided what will happen and how, making certain of it with his divine interventions, often thwarting dissenting gods. In modern storytelling, the role Zeus plays ends up being replaced by greater contrivance. Unless well plotted or quickly passed over to avoid cognitive dissonance, these story decisions can be very jarring and much more difficult to pull off than the storytelling beats of the Iliad. We have Zeus to thank for the poem's lack of senseless twists. One apparent downside of this literary tradition is that there are no surprises. The Greeks didn't mind. It would have undermined the poem's credibility. Despite telegraphing its plot, every time I've read it, I find myself hoping against my certain knowledge that somehow, this time, it'll go differently. If storytelling is compelling enough, knowing the outcome doesn't affect enjoyment or engagement. Without further ado, I present you Book 8 of the Iliad, The Trojans Reach the Wall.